Hi, Clark Reid here with today's tech headlines. Please give us a like if you enjoy these reports by crushing that like button, and you can also subscribe by hitting the little bell icon so you'll know when a new report is posted. A new Spotify subscription tier is planned for later this year, but it now looks like it'll be available outside the U.S. first. Gizmodo.com reports the individual premium subscribers who already pay $9.99 a month for ad-free music and unlimited song and podcast downloads will be dinged even more if they want what is being called the super premium tier. Bloomberg says that's probably not the final name for the new HiFi tier. In addition to HiFi, the top tier could also give expanded access to audiobooks, which kind of negates the use for HiFi, or the need for it at any rate, when you're just listening to a person speak like moi. Both Apple and Amazon have goosed their prices up to $10.99. Apple's best audio stream sounds pretty amazing. It's super clean and open sounding. Apple has now, speaking of Apple, expanded their self-service repair program to cover the iPhone 14 line and a number of MacBook Pros and the 13-inch MacBook Air. According to MacRumors.com, the Air with the M2 chip, the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros with the M2 chip, Pro and Max chips will be included, and that all starts tomorrow. First launched 2022 of last year, April of last year, that is. Apple's program provided customers with access to parts, manuals, and tools to repair select devices, and it will be now expanded to these new ones. But here's the rub. They say it's designed for anyone who has, quote, experience repairing electronic devices, and say, quote, the vast majority of customers are better off visiting an Apple store or an Apple authorized service provider. Here's a pro tip. Having replaced batteries and memory in a couple of Mac laptops, unless you're pretty savvy and skilled at this, take your rig to a shop. It's still a good deal that Apple's doing this because the parts and manuals and tools will now be accessible to more local shops that'll charge notably less than Apple and probably less than their authorized service providers, too. Tesla stock's been climbing nicely the last few weeks and took a 4% jump just today as EV makers continue to want access to the company's Supercharger network. Electric.co says both Ford and GM had made deals with Tesla to start using their chargers next year and the charging plug they use. And so those things are picking up, and other manufacturers are now looking at doing the same. Tesla stock is up 50% in the last month. Morgan Stanley recently estimated the charging network could be worth more than $100 billion by 2030. Tesla's currently got about 2,000 stations in North America. The bipartisan law passed last summer includes money to build thousands of charging stations, but so far it's off to a slow start in seeing actual construction of them. The FCC is looking at investigating broadband providers over their use of data caps on consumers. CNET.com reports the commission's asking the public to come forward with their own accounts of how data caps have affected them via consumer complaint form, which is in the text version of this report. As the FCC chair noted, Internet access is no longer nice to have, but a need to have for everyone, everywhere. As we emerge from the pandemic, there are so many lessons to learn about what worked and what didn't work, especially about what it takes to keep us all connected. Multiple internet service providers continue to impose data caps, even when smaller competing providers have said they're absolutely not necessary. Comcast, Xfinity, Cox, AT&T, and others continue to impose data caps with added charges for going over set limits. Other providers like Google Fiber, CenturyLink, and Spectrum don't have any data caps, and interestingly, AT&T Fiber is unlimited. I'm Clark Reid, and you're technified for now.